excellent.
The great leader Buzz Lightyear once said, "To infinity and beyond," and at least 3 generations have loved it. I'm just glad that he didn't start by sharing that online today because he may have gotten some pushback. Today, I want to talk about what has proven to be a controversial mindset, going above and beyond. In October of last year, I posted on YouTube about the condition of Gen Z in the workplace. And at the time, 60% of companies had already fired the college graduates that they had hired in 2024, with 1 in 7 considering not hiring those new graduates in 2025. I just shared my thoughts about the need that I believed was a missing piece of going above and beyond. And there were a lot of differing opinions about this topic. So today, I want to share some of those opinions with you, what you have shared with me, and I also want to discuss why I still believe that we should go above and beyond regardless of what's happening in our work environment. So welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast, the podcast for whatever business is on your mind. Let's get started.
Well, that's excellent.
Well, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Mind Your Business podcast. It is always better when you're a part of this. And if this brings value to your life, do me a favor. Will you like, subscribe, share this with others? It would also be amazing if you would leave a review wherever you listen. This gets the algorithm moving so that we can bring this to as many people and make a difference in as many lives as possible. The video I mentioned as of this recording of this podcast has nearly 400,000 views and a lot of differing opinions on the thought of going above and beyond. Now, for context, I just simply said that employees shouldn't wait for instructions and they should anticipate what needs to be done next. They should show some initiative and some drive. I think they should volunteer for projects. I think they should go above and beyond. They should ask for feedback. They should take chances, and they should show some excitement for what they're doing on that job. Now, that statement was because 50% of employers said their biggest issue with Generation Z is a lack of motivation and a lack of initiative. Even though this generation is highly skilled and can do well in many areas, it's not minimizing the ability of Gen Z, and it's not picking on Gen Z. But there seems to be a struggle when it comes to being self-starters, self-motivated, or going above and beyond. Now, this can be a real big problem in fast-paced workplaces. Places that require employees to take ownership of their work. It's a big risk and a big problem today when AI is coming for our jobs. And honestly, if I'm just transparent with you, I was shocked at some of the responses that were posted in the comments. I should have been, and I should have known better, but I was not prepared for some of the comments. Let me give a few of them to you here. One person said, "Do not go above and beyond. Do not work for free. Do only what your job requires and nothing more. Do not be loyal to companies that will not be loyal to you." Another person said, "The going above and beyond stuff does not work anymore. Every millennial friend of mine job hops every 1 to 3 years, so there is absolutely no point in going above and beyond." Another one, "Go above and beyond? Yeah, no thanks, bud. Doing more won't guarantee you more money. More than likely, it will only guarantee you more work for the same pay. But hey, the monthly pizza parties should suffice." I hope you guys are getting all of this. Another one, "Corporate job is abject slavery." Another one, "Lack of motivation is just boomer speak for work harder without any real benefits." Another one, "Going above and beyond is part of this hustle nonsense whereby everyone is expected to give more and receive less. You are required to perform your work according to your contract, and going above and beyond that should require above and beyond compensation." Otherwise, it's just a donation to your employer and not the kind of culture that needs encouragement in the United States. I know it shouldn't have surprised me. I should have been better prepared. But I was still surprised by the number of people with a minimal mindset. But that's where I really want us to focus in today. See, the above and beyond mindset is really about the power of personal drive. It was more about being a hard worker than it was about working hard, though they both go hand in hand. See, it wasn't about impressing your manager or climbing to a fake corporate ladder destination. It was about you. It was about choosing to be excellent because you're excellent. And by the way, I do believe that this is the mindset that can open doors no matter what job that you're in. Honestly, these comments just made me sad, if I'm just transparent. They made me sad. It made me sad because the mindset that working hard is foolish unless there's an immediate reward. I think that is killing potential. It's limiting the possibilities of so many people. And worse, if we don't change it, it's going to build a generation of people who are just settling. To be fair, I can understand the perspective of many of these people. The workplace has changed and people are burned out. There are a large majority of company cultures that are toxic. People have unappreciative bosses. They are devalued and they're treated like disposable goods. There's a lack of investment in personal and professional development. There's a lot of brokenness to the system, and the frustration that people feel is real. But I don't just acknowledge this, I'm active in trying to help solve this problem. I work with businesses just like yours to help alleviate some of these pain points. So reach out again if I can help you. But the bigger picture is a swing in the other direction. So instead of correcting the system and resolving these problems, people are correcting themselves into stagnation. People have submitted themselves to a bare minimum mindset. They're saying, fine, I'll just do with what I have to do. Clock in and clock out. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. And by the way, this bare minimum mindset is costing the global economy around $8 trillion. But here's the bigger problem. When you train yourself to do the bare minimum, you build a habit of minimum living. And that doesn't just impact your work, that invades every area of your life. That's why I'm so passionate about this. You start giving the bare minimum in relationships, you give the bare minimum in your health, you give the bare minimum to your dreams. See, it's not just about work ethic. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you are. But it's the mindset. This is the mindset that I want to give you today. I want to transform this. Going above and beyond isn't about your boss. It's not about corporate approval. It's about becoming the kind of person that opportunities chase. This is the reality. This is the simple reality of it all. When you show up with excellence, you stand out. You stand out not because you're looking for a promotion or a pat on the back, but because excellence attracts attention. It creates gravity. People notice it. They are pulled in by the person that you are. Think about it. Have you ever been impressed or drawn to someone who consistently gave less than they were capable of? A person who just does the bare minimum? Well, of course you haven't. But we remember the people who showed up with energy, with consistency, and with their best effort. This is what going above and beyond is all about. Ultimately, it is a character thing. Now, I know this to be true because it's always been my mindset. I had this modeled to me all of my life in my home. As a kid growing up, I watched my parents go above and beyond. They started their own company when I was young, and then I watched their sacrifice. I remember many times when my dad would start early in the morning, work all day long in tough environments, get home by, say, 9 p.m., sit down for a late dinner, and while he was eating dinner, he would get a phone call at the table, and I would watch him finish his dinner and then leave again. See, he went above and beyond so that eventually he didn't have to have a work schedule like this forever. He put in the effort early on, and eventually it paid off. And my mom was right in the middle of it all, handling all of the administrative work. They both modeled it. They went above and beyond. And personally, I've lived this principle. I live the principle that the Bible says whatever we do it as if we were directly serving the Lord. So personally, I choose to go above and beyond. In all that I do, I want that to be an expression to Him and to others who are around me. I carried this mindset in every job I've had. For example, my very first job was as a telemarketer. Call after call was simply, hey, this is Brandon with whatever, we were raising funds for. And I would say, I want to make sure that we can count on that same $25 donation again this year. You've been so helpful each and every year, generosity, showing your support. And call after call was this over and over and over again. People cursing at you, people hanging up on you, people angry at you. But I showed up every day and I went above and beyond. And I held that job for the entirety of my high school career. And most people don't last a week in telemarketing because it was a tough job. But I set goals for myself. I worked the night shift like everyone else, but I really wanted to work earlier so I could get home earlier. So I set a personal goal to be able to work days instead of nights in telemarketing. I worked hard. I went above and beyond. And eventually, as a teenager, I earned a key to that office. The ability to work during the day, and the trust of my boss. Now, that was huge for a 16-year-old high school kid. It taught me early in life to work hard, and when you do, you can create opportunities for yourself. One last example, I apply this thought to just living in my city as well. In anything that I do, I want to bring my best and go above and beyond. And most of us think like consumers. We think about what's in it for me. But my mindset is that I want to give to the city that I live in. I don't want to just take it. So back in 2018, I started volunteering in a newly formed organization that our mayor had started. I showed up, I was faithful, and again, I went above and beyond. And eventually, the mayor approached me about a paid position, leading the entire organization and managing the new federal grant that the city had received. So now I contract with the city that I live in, doing what I was already doing anyway, but now it's a paid position. See, going above and beyond works. This isn't just about work. It's about a mindset of living in your life. I live this mindset as a husband, I live it as a father, and I live it in all other areas of my life. So if you're listening or watching this today, maybe you're one of those who commented and said that going above and beyond just was out of date or out of style. But I want you to know personally, I'm sharing this content because I'm in it with you. Now, I understand that your current situation may not reward you now, but trust me, it's preparing you for what's next. Your current situation is getting you ready for when the doors of opportunity open for you. And when they do, you will be ready. Now, by this point, I really hope you're asking, how do I break out of this bare minimum mindset? I hope you have taken inventory of your life and asked yourself, am I living a bare minimum mindset? I hope you're motivated to go above and beyond. So if so, let me give you 3 principles that I believe will help. So here's 3 things that I want to give you. Number 1, I want to encourage you to work for the future you. Work for the future you. Again, I'm not talking about working for your boss. I'm not talking about working for a company or a logo. I'm saying work for the future you. Our bare minimum mindset has convinced us that we are enduring the toxic environment, we're tolerating our boss, and we're dealing with misery just to earn a paycheck. Now, practically, I realize that you work because you need or you want the money. But remember, we're talking about going above and beyond. We're breaking out of the old mentality. I want your thinking to go above and beyond as well. So shift your mindset. You're not just working for a company. You're not just working for your boss. You're not just working for a paycheck. You're working for your future self. Every time you choose to go above and beyond, when you could have chosen the bare minimum, even when no one's watching, you're building capacity. You're building trust. You're building personal integrity and personal character. You're building readiness. I'm always amazed at how we see successful people and we think that just happened overnight. They just had overnight success. One of my favorite shows is The Office. Steve Carell, to me, is just hilarious as Michael Scott. But his story is also amazing to me, his personal story. When the first season of The Office aired, Steve was 43 years old. He had spent decades before as a struggling actor, now going above and beyond to make it happen. And while trying to make it happen, he worked as a mailman, which he said he quit after a few months because his boss told him that he wasn't very good at it. He also worked at a convenience store where he was fired after only 1 week. But with every job and every improv class, every minor role that he had, and every audition, it was an investment into the future Steve Carell, the one who would eventually be on the cover of magazines, lead a hit TV show, and star in movies. Steve once said that he'd been auditioning for years before anyone started saying yes, but he just kept showing up. He said, "You can't control when the opportunity comes, only if you are ready for it." Think about that. You can't control when the opportunity is going to show up, but you can control if you're ready for it. So while he was delivering mail in his mail truck, working in the convenience store, waiting tables, taking improv classes, or doing all of these different auditions that all gave him no's, he wasn't doing it for anyone else except for his future self. So when you work, work for you. And then number 2, separate effort from outcome. And I think this is a really important mindset shift when you separate your effort from your outcome. Excellence isn't a vending machine. You don't press a button and get a prize. It's a long-term play, a seed that is planted and that it takes time to grow. And the difficulty is, the tension is that we live in a culture that expects instant gratification. You post a reel and you want millions of likes. You do something right, and then you want immediate recognition. And if we're not careful, we start treating excellence like a transaction instead of a value. But real excellence is built on delay, not reward. See, Olympic athletes, they train for years before they stand on a podium. Entrepreneurs, they grind for years before their business sees success. Teachers show up for kids who may never even say thank you. I think Mr. Beast is a great example of this. See, before he became literally the highest paid YouTuber, he spent years making videos that nobody watched. There were no sponsors. There was no fame. He just had a passion to make great videos. And today he pulls in millions and millions of views in hours and has a brand that has expanded way beyond YouTube. Now, the most impressive part to me is when others ask him how to be successful at YouTube like he is. Everybody wants to find his success. And he always says the same thing, that what helps you grow is making the best videos possible, and that subscribers and views come from that. See, he believes in making quality videos that you would want to see regardless if anyone watches or if they don't. And then eventually the success will come. You separate the effort from the outcome. He does the work, he puts it all in behind the scenes because his emphasis is on the effort and not just the outcome. Famous author Robert Louis Stevenson said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest that you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." Separate the effort from the outcome. That is so powerful. You don't have to look at the day by your harvest. You look at it by the seeds that you plant. And if you determine your effort based on instant gratification, you will eventually do the bare minimum when there is no instant gratification. So separate your effort from the outcome and be willing to go above and beyond, regardless of the immediate result. And then, number 3, don't let dysfunction define you. Don't let dysfunction define you. Don't let a bad boss make you bad at your job. Don't let a toxic team make you bitter. You choose how you show up. You can't control everything, but you can control you. If we would embrace that thought and that understanding that you can't control everything around you, but you can control you, it would literally change our lives. Because this is the reality. We have all had bad experiences. We have all worked in an environment that didn't value us, an environment that did not appreciate us. They didn't reward us, or even to the most simple thing, they didn't even thank us. But if you allow the dysfunction to define you, you open the door to something that will slowly destroy your potential, and that is bitterness. Bitterness is like drinking poison and hoping someone else gets sick. I think there are so many people who have given bosses, managers, co-workers, and all the negativity that the work can bring. We've given it the power to plant bitterness in our lives. And when we allow bitterness to grow, it hardens your heart, it clouds your judgment, and it turns temporary wounds into permanent limitations. You can't let dysfunction around you define the discipline that is within you. Maybe your boss doesn't recognize your effort. Maybe they don't value you. Maybe they didn't give you the schedule that you wanted. But that's not a reason to allow them the power to put you in a bare minimum mindset. See, that's your opportunity to go above and beyond and to stand out. And I'm telling you, your present and your future self will thank you. Now, I understand that some of you still aren't convinced, but there are some of you who needed this reminder today. Well, let me just encourage you in this. This is not about them. It's about you. This above and beyond mindset, attitude, way of living. It is not about them. It's about you. It's about who you're becoming. It's about what you're building. It's about what doors are opening. Anyone can do the bare minimum, but the ones who break free from the pack are the ones that go above and beyond. So today, wherever you work, and whatever you do, choose to do it well. Do it if no one claps. Do it if no one sees it, because you will know and you will be ready for whatever is next. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Mind Your Business podcast. If you found this helpful, if this was encouraging to you, or you think it would do someone else some good to hear it or watch it, I want to ask you to like, subscribe, share it, leave a review. And until we meet again next time, go mind your business and keep going above and beyond.